Okay, I'm very excited and proud to be here. Yeah, learning how to fly. We are doing a lot about AI these 2 days, but this thing you see is by an artist called Antonia René. She's a German artist living in Groningen, and this is part of a stop-motion animation. So she uses our archive material, prints it out on a copier, and then just fiddles with it, does 1 or 2 seconds in a day, and makes the most beautiful artwork. And I'm allowed to use some of her artwork in my presentation, so that's lovely. I'm going to introduce Groningen to you like it was introduced to the rest of the Netherlands in the 90s, early 90s.
Check out this high technology. No, don't you just love it up? I sure do. And nice lifestyle. No, not speak California. Hell, what's that? Welcome to Groningen. Ja, niets. Boven Groningen.
Or the translation, nothing tops Groningen. This is our building. We've had it refurbished recently, so it's very transparent and open, and we welcome audiences in, we welcome students in. We've had free coffee for a year now. It's changed, but it helps getting people in. And to give you an idea or an overview of where do we sit in the Netherlands, you've got obviously Beeld en Geluid, or as you know it's Sound and Vision. You've got the Eye Institute, and then there's a lot of regional audiovisual archives. So there's been, in the 1990s, there's been a shift from text culture to visual culture, especially for historians. There was more importance put to media historians. And there was this research done by the University of Groningen about what do we have on regional archiving. And in 1991, there was the Frisian Film Archive. That was the first one to be in the Netherlands as a regional archive, and we followed a year later as the Groningen Archive, and in the next few years almost every province had their own archive, sometimes in a foundation like we started, because the university, the museum, the broadcasters, they didn't know what to do with film, or digitization was not even at a starting point in the 90s, and they wanted the knowledge, to concentrate the knowledge into one point. And then those people could learn, and we learned from our national big ones like Beeld en Geluid and Eye. And next to those city or municipal archives, you've got Lima, that's an art archive. You've got the company archives and the university archives. So there's a national network of regional audiovisual archives. It's called NORA. I'm the chairman of NORA since a year or 2, and because I'm the chairman, I get to be in the domain council of AVANet. AVANet, again, Beeld en Geluid, Eye, University of Amsterdam. We try together to see what's needed for the audiovisual archives in the Netherlands. We come together once every few months, and then talk about what's needed. Everyone gets to have their say. And since I'm really proud to say that our next symposium at the Beeld en Geluid in the Netherlands is about regional archiving. So my being there already has had a point for us small ones. But it's also really beautiful to see how Beeld en Geluid opens up to all kinds of archives. I mean, they're not a closed-in organization. They are really trying to help others as well. Well, this is part of the symposium. I was talking to Bianca Stichter here. She made a beautiful film, 3 minutes of lengthening. If you haven't seen it, go look it up. It's amazing what you can do with 3 minutes film archive. Make a 77-minute film out of it that's so informative and poignant and important, especially at this day and age. Go look it up. And then there was a survey in 2006. So of the hours they counted, 2/3 of it was not in the regional, well, it was in the regional centers. It was not at Beeld en Geluid or Eye. 2/3 was scattered archives. at libraries, regional archives like ours, but also museums. So that's changed a bit because it's changed two ways. Beeld en Geluid is having a lot of more influx of audiovisual material than they had back then. But we had half the collection in 2006 then, compared to what we have now. So we've doubled in size in just 20 years. And I think that's with other regional archives the same thing. So yeah, it's growing. We have a database system that's separate from our file system. So we store our files on LTO and on servers. We do the backups, but we have the Flex's audiovisual module. Again, we learned from the BBC, we've learned from we've learned from Beeld en Geluid. And just we're cherry picking the best ideas and put it in our audiovisual module. And we were already building a video and audio digitization, I see I missed the S here, but infrastructure since 2004. We've had 1,500 films online in 2005. It's now 9,500. If you start watching our film archive today and you don't sleep and you don't eat, then you'll be done in 11 months. So it's for us, as a small archive, it's a lot. And we are being used by many international documentary makers as well. We've got Amazon, Netflix, Arte using our material because it's so accessible. In 2006, we had a transition to archive formats. Because we are small, we don't have to adapt to what the big broadcasters use. We can just say, no, we want a 10-bit file, not the 8-bit file. We take our time. We can just, we don't have the enormous amount of material that just forces you to be economic. So that's a big win for us. And in 2011, we implemented file-based archive and deleted all the DV material, started digitizing again in ProRes HQ, and went from there. The really important files we digitize in 10-bit uncompressed when it comes to video. And since a few years, we have a 4K film scanner. We do our own 8mm 9.5 Super 8 on 4K, put it on LTO, put an HD version on the server that people can use. And we started to use speech-to-text for metadata extraction of the video files. Just to give you an idea of what Groningen looked like in 1934, this is Gerard Vrinking. He is filming with his homemade selfie camera. Just put a mirror up on his camera. A lot of the buildings that you see are gone. This one's still there, but the background that you see now has been destroyed by Canadians and Germans fighting in the Second World War. We have a 3 to 4 day heavy fighting in Groningen. Just to give you some numbers, our province has 600,000 inhabitants. The city has 210,000. There are 48 FTE, or 60 persons working in the Groningen Archives, but most of them work on paper, work on restoration, facilitating stuff. And there's up to 7 people working at Beeld en Geluid, our department, Sound and Vision, but within the Groningen Archives. And 5 volunteers. Those 7 people also do the photographs and the maps. So it's not just video or audio. We had 300 volunteers before COVID-19, and there's 90 now, and we are starting to grow again. So volunteers are really important to the work that we do. So, like I said, we have been growing fast. 2005, you can see that's just before 2006, how low the bar was compared to 2024. And this is just about the idea. When it says Groningen Archives, it's 8mm, 9.5mm, 16. That's the film that we get from people, from companies, and that we ask the handing over of the copyrights, because if we are going to spend money, public money, we want the copyrights as well, because we want to be able to use it, and we want to be able for people to use it. So it's, and most of the time people understand, so 99.5% of the time we get the copyrights. People have access to the films forever. I mean, if your grandchild comes and says, my ancestor was on that video or on that film and he brought it 60 years ago, we promise the people that they will get a digital excerpt. If we have it, they'll get it. Yeah, and the rest is from RTV production companies and museums. And those broadcast archives are important to us. By the way, this is not a broadcast archive. This is something else that I have to talk about. We have a pop archive. We have a really good club in Groningen, Vera. This was the second show of Nirvana in the Netherlands, and it was in Groningen. We used to be, especially in the 80s, like the starting point or the tipping point of fame for grunge bands in Europe. So they went to Amsterdam and Groningen, and from there on they conquered Europe. And this, I mean, there were just 80 people there. It's a venue of 500. There were just 80 people there. And they didn't come for Nirvana, they came for Tad. So that's the grunge band that was more important back then. But still, it was videoed. We have the videos. We have 800 something videos of concerts in 10 years' time. And it's a beautiful body of work to be able to research independent music scene in the Netherlands or in Europe. And we have filmmakers coming to our archive, making use of our archive, but also bringing in film material sometimes. And we've had this clip for ages, but the filmmakers brought the original 1-inch tape with the master file, so we digitized that as well. And I'm just going to show you a little clip of the documentary, and it starts with the airing of, it's called Never Mind the Buzzcocks, is that what it? Yeah. And they used a clip of VH1, but they're going to talk about this band.
Let's see how well you know your Dutch heavy metal from 1986. This is Holland's criminally underrated Vortex, and this bloke really is singing in English. Opened the gate with that deep, scary like Boy George pre-culture club, isn't it? What do you think the scary bloke was singing?
There's nothing quite like a fat goth, is there, Mark? I don't know, mental artist never works again after that. She had worked before. Ik ben een beetje een vreemd iemand, dat is mij ook altijd duidelijk gemaakt van kinds af aan al. Ik heb verschillende kanten. En als ik die kanten niet af en toe ook kan laten zien, dan gaat het psychisch bij mij helemaal niet goed, weet je wel. Ik kan bijvoorbeeld heel lang heel keurig zijn, volgens de regeltjes. Maar op een gegeven moment is dat mooi genoeg geweest. Ben je er zo gewoon verschrikkelijk zat van, dan kan het niet gek genoeg zijn. Je moet daar het liefst als een soort monster op het podium staan.
Zo mensen, welkom in Mattio's Nipple Cave.
Well, you get the idea. It's on our Vimeo. You can watch it if you want. So just type in Vortex Vimeo Groningen and you'll probably find it. It's subtitled in English, so you'll all be able to follow what's been said. Then there's the Sound of Groningen. We have digitized thousands of hours of radio from 1946 to 1998 of the regional broadcaster RTV Noord. And we didn't know what to do with it. We had this Word document with some info, but the Word document was migrated 3 times before from WordPerfect 5.1, WordPerfect, whatever. So a lot of line breaks. I mean, it would really take a long time to add it to our system. And there was no point in doing it because we didn't have the rights yet. It was a combination that we worked together with them. And we didn't know how to really make it searchable because there was only 1 or 2 sentences about every item. This is what it looks like in our archive. So we have 4,000 hours available digital right now, but there's still a long way to go. We've started digitizing again. So then I got the idea to go to FrameTech 2022 in Paris. And there was an example of what RTV España did. There was an example of Limecraft that did speech-to-text. Mimo told a lot of things about how to handle volunteers, how to work a project. Ina was doing some beautiful stuff on speech-to-text. And Beeld en Geluid had all the ins and outs about the rights and the ideas about what you could do with stakeholders in such a project. So all of a sudden I thought, well, that's great. I can work with this. I had lots of ideas. And Virginia, she asked me to come to Dublin in 2023, so I did. But before all of that, I mean, I'm not going to read all this, but I will want to give you just a minute to read this. It's on the website of Ina, it's on the website of Frame. Read this and just accept how generous and beautiful this is, that this is there for us as a community. For me, this really was an eye-opener to have been there, to have been talking to people, being around people for a week in a bubble where you don't have your family, you don't have problems at home, problems at work. You're just talking to energetic professionals that want to share their thoughts. So you've got everything that you learn, but you also have got the rest of the week where you drink and you eat together. And you learn so much of each other. And I mean, I was so inspired that I went home bouncing and had ideas to do something with. It was like a box opening. That's Antonia Reenen again. But it was really beautiful. So I went to Dublin. And it was also interesting because on the media management side, there was confirming a lot of my knowledge that I already had. That's always nice when you get confirmation. I was again meeting new people and had new ideas. Got expert information about small languages and generative AI, and it's really beautiful to see a follow-up on the Irish part today, because there was some lectures back then that I got follow-up on today, so that's nice. And like I said, a boost in my mood. And new ideas. It's not just speech-to-text that we're going to work on, we're also going to work on digital fingerprinting. Fixity is, we're already doing that, but still, there are many things that you take away, but I'm talking about the Sound of Groningen now. So then I went to Frame Access. Again, Virginia was there, telling that she switched with RTV, she switched from vendor, and she brought me in contact with Francesc Tarras from UGIA and Antonia Miguel. And I had many Zoom meetings with Francesc Tarras to just develop what we needed. So it was based on the same idea that they were working with in Spain. But what I wanted to do was to just start with the speech-to-text pilot for the radio in Dutch at first, and then gradually move on to Gronings, which is a smaller language. It's like a language that's spoken in many forms alongside the border of Groningen and Germany in different dialects, but Groningen is just one part of that language. So I started with Dutch, and I'm happy that Dutch is such an easy language for speech-to-text. They used Whisper as a model, as a local model on a server in Spain. It really just cost me 5,000 euros to set all this up. So it was that cheap. They were so helpful, and also thankful for all the information that I gave, that what would be the needs of a smaller archive compared to the bigger archive. So you know all this, you've all done your projects, I will not read about this, but it was like landing, having a soft landing on where we needed to be. So this is how it looks like. I'm going to give a live demo, but we managed, it's now in production for 5 people within the archive. We're going to expand to 20 volunteers. There's an admin, there are more admins that can check the checking, so there's a double check. We really think that humans in the loop are important because, especially in regional archives, I mean, what if an AI model understands Dutch culture, which is far-fetched, but what if it does? Then it doesn't even start to understand regional Dutch culture. So that's different everywhere. If you go to Friesland or Limburg, they speak not only different languages, but also have different ways of going about things. So, and I mean, for some of your countries, it's unbelievable because we're such a small country, but even in such a small country, the differences can be huge. Yeah, I'm going to show the idea. So this is what it is. It's you get all the videos. I already have the videos. You can go for the users videos. I'll just check one of our main volunteers, and you just. This one I validated. There's one new thing that we ingested now is the transcription reanalysis start, because sometimes when the system starts with a number, because Willem Beestra, he is the guy from RTV Noord that digitized all the shellac records to tape, and we digitized the tapes again, but he used to be calling the number like 514, and then the tape started. It's not only good to have the complete and original tape digitized, it's also kind of an ode to Willem Beestra to hear his voice in front of every tape. But sometimes the system thinks, oh, I've got to recite numbers now. So it starts with 514, 745, 413, but someone is talking. So that's when we decided to ask Francesc and his people, can we have a reanalyzation tool or something? And that's what he built within 3 weeks. So you just put some in points and out points, say reanalyze or say save, and the next day they'll be reanalyzed. But in between you can just go further with, you can just go on with other files that you need. So let's just see.
Zo, mij is benieuwd hoe dat gaat mij. Het is net een boot.
That's a woman, mevrouw de Jager. She was a cult person in the 70s, and she's on a helicopter saying it's just like a boat. This is just how it works. We just, if you want to alter something, you click in it, you alter it, you press save. It's that easy for volunteers to work with something like this. So you can't really screw it up. And then there's the admins that can check. I mean, when you work with it, you just say, it's in progress. And when I or someone else validate it, we say done. And then I download the JSON, give it to our beautiful data people at the archive. They will ingest it in a test production set in our mice flexes. That'll be checked, and then it'll go into production. I can just copy and paste it under the original summary, and then I do an ingest from that in our website, because the website is apart from our mice flexes system. I just do an export in XML and ingest it in our website, and then it'll work. And let's see if I can find the famous football player, which you probably all don't know, Jan Mulder, and press audio to find just the audio. Jan Mulder, he's leaving Anderlecht. Oh, this is the one that should be converted. It should be the other one. This one. Another conversion. let's see, this should be this. Let's check the number because I wrote it down. No, this should be the one. It worked yesterday, as it goes. Maybe it's because we're from, I had a VPN, a Dutch VPN on yesterday, so that might be the problem. I'll just check another one. See if this one works.
500.
500, yeah, it's not the one either, but I really want to show this, so I'm going to see if this one works. Yeah. Okay. So when the ingest is done, we get the in and out points in the file. So it's searchable. And normally it would play straight away and play exactly at the point that I'm clicking right now. So it might be that I should have put on the VPN. So sorry that it isn't working now, but you get the idea. And let's see if our because one of the things that we did back in 2004, 2005 was make it searchable by time code. So when I put the word horse in there, you get 1040 results. You can filter on any kind of, you can filter, I want only 8mm, only color, whatever you want to filter on. But I want the horse with earwormers, and now this should work. So you only get 2 results. See if it's going to play. That's a shame. It just played this morning. But you would see a horse with earwormers on at this point. So, okay. Switching back to this one. We do it with video as well, because speech to text, to make things searchable, it's easy to do it with video as much as it is with audio. And we are now able to include the deaf and the hard of hearing because they now can read radio, which they can't hear. So they have a transcription of radio that's validated by humans. And this is what it looks like when it is playing. So, thank you for your attention.